This is the HaltingWinter Podcast. My name is Seth Winterhalter. HaltingWinter is a coaching and consulting company that exists to help small business owners who are overwhelmed, who are stressed at the complexities of their business, all the aspects. We help you align those different aspects, those products, those services, those teams. We help align the core categories of your business toward a clear and compelling mission so that you can grow, can scale, and can soar. We want you to be successful, which is why today we're continuing kind of our series on what is known as the Business Made Simple framework. Business Made Simple is a company designed to help businesses, specifically small businesses, soar, to scale, to put all the parts of their airplane. That's kind of the picture we use. Is your business is like an airplane, and it has the cockpit, which is your leadership team. It has wings, which are your products. It has the engines, which are sales and marketing. It has the body of the plane, which is your overhead and your organization. It has the fuel, which is your cash flow. These 6 elements of your organization have to not only be working properly, they need to be working in tandem together, or else you're going to have a divided plane. You're going to have different parts for different kinds of planes, or they're just not going to be working, and that's not going to help you be successful. So today, we're gonna move into what we call at Business Made Simple, the Customer is the Hero framework, which is all about sales. Everyone is in sales. I know there's a lot, I don't like sales. Sales people are creepy. Sales is slimy. Listen, if you're not selling, you're not succeeding. You're not going to have success. Everything in life is sales. You want to get married? You have to sell yourself. You want to go and research guinea pigs in Australia? I don't even know if that exists. You've got to sell your project to funding, to donors, right? Everyone is selling. And so you have to get over the idea that whatever your kind of ickiness or your ill-conceived ideas or whatever's going on in your head when you think of sales, if that's a negative turn on to you, if it's a turn off to you, you need to get through that so that you can actually become better at sales. Understand that, right? If you actually have a product and a service that does good, that you believe in, you want to be good at sales so that more people will buy, more people will purchase, more people will be impacted by your products and services. So sales is incredibly important. And yes, I'll be honest with you, like this is an area, sometimes I think I love sales. Sales, man, I just really enjoy sales. And other times there are other aspects of it that I'm like, oh man, this is really hard. Because I think what's hard about sales is we want to help people. Most people, they have products, they have services. You have a business because you want to help. You want to provide resources, comforts, pleasures, experiences, whatever that is. You are in the business of helping. And so what's hard is that when you get to the close of the sale, the beginning of the sale is easy. It's when you're describing the benefits of your product and the features that you have taken time and poured energy into creating to make your product or your service top-notch, stellar. What the problem of sales is when you come to the close and you actually ask for the sale. And all of a sudden, now the sale begins. Now the tension is, well, can they afford it? Is it too much? Should I just give it away? Right here, now we're getting into real sales. And so hopefully understanding the Business Made Simple framework, understanding how to lay out a compelling story, a framework to get you to that close will help you take out some of that some of that ick, some of that frustration. Understanding that it's not about our products and services as they're not the star of the show. The star is the person who's coming to us with a problem. And we are simply a guide, a person who can come alongside and alleviate that problem with our products as their solution. Okay, that's kind of the summary of what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive in this week. So today I'm going to talk about the first two elements. Again, this is Business Made Simple. This is a company that's run by Donald Miller. I'm a certified coach of their program. I use the Business Made Simple framework for my consulting with businesses. And so HaltingWinter, we have other areas outside of Business Made Simple that we use with our consulting as well. But the primary framework and foundation of what we do with businesses is part of the Business Made Simple framework. I just love simplicity, and I think Donald has nailed simplicity with Business Made Simple. And again, it's in the name, Business Made Simple. The issue is we are overwhelmed by the complex, but it's interesting how we almost like dive into the complex. We feel like it's got to be harder than it really is, and maybe it's because when you really make things simple, then it's just work, and you just have to continue to grind away. And what we want are things to come easy. We want sales to come easy. We don't want to just sit in the statistics that say, hey, it's going to take this many calls. It's going to take this many conversations. It's going to take this many closes to get this many sales. We want to be perfect. We don't want no's. We want just yeses. And so we continue to look for processes and systems that will tell us, well, you'll get 9 out of 10 yeses. Listen, it's just not true. Like, statistics have proven over the course of time that there are, right? What is it? The law of sales is 1 out of 7. Like, it takes reps, and you'll get better. Yes. But people are going to say no. And if you continue to switch your systems and your processes based on your frustration, based on you wanting better results than are statistically really possible, then you're just taking the hard work out. You're taking away the hard work. You're trying to go after a shortcut that's not going to work, and you're actually losing reps that will help you get better. There are no shortcuts. There's just work. And if you put in the work, if you put in a year, if you built a system, right? This is why I love this system. If you put this system in place and you just stuck to it and did the work week by week, month by month, at the end of the year, you would have so many reps of a same system that you would see your statistics, your metrics rise in success because you just be faithful to the process. And this process is simple. That's what you need, a simple process. Okay, so I want to get into it instead of just belaboring the point, but hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that stirs in you. If you say, man, that's one of our problems is we seem to kind of be jumping from system to system. It's ear candy to hear, here's this new way to do it that's going to guarantee more results. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you need a system that works, but you need a system that works. This is why I love Business Made Simple, that's connected to all your other systems. One of the areas that goes astray in businesses, especially as they start to grow, one of the first things you might do is hire salespeople because you need more sales. You need more cash flow to create more products and make your products better. So you need cash, and you get cash by making sales. So one of the first areas that most businesses will hire for are sales. The issue is your sales team, if you don't have a really compelling mission and clear branding and marketing, your sales team will just start doing whatever it takes to get the sale, and they'll start dictating your marketing by themselves. They'll start telling clients what the product and what the services are in their own words, in their own way, and all of a sudden you have a ship that is not steering in a direction except to make money. And if your only goal is to make money, you are going to stall out because your messaging and your frameworks, your business is going to crumble because it has no firm foundation. The ship is going to be pulled apart in 1,000 different directions. So this is why it's important, I think, to not only have a good sales funnel and channel and program like this, you need that connected to leadership, to the mission statement, to marketing and branding, to the way the organization is set up and the way it communicates. This is why the Business Made Simple framework works through the 6 primary aspects of your business and connects them all using the same framework, using the same language, so that you're all rowing in the same direction. And as you scale, as you hire more people, as you move from a small business to a larger business, you have more people on the team, and that team has to speak in the same language. That team has to row in the same direction. And to do that, you need frameworks that that have that same branding, that have that same messaging. So that's why if you're a part of Business Made Simple, maybe you've listened to the previous podcast, the marketing one, you'll go, oh, this is kind of similar. Yes, it is similar because we're using the same frameworks. We're using the same story so that our marketing team isn't doing something different than our sales team. Yes, it's a little bit different because sales is different than marketing, but same framework, very, very similar in its structure. So, this is going to be a 5-part series. Well, it's going to be 3 podcasts, but there's 5 parts. I'm going to go through part 1 and 2 of what Business Made Simple calls the sales script. So when you are doing sales, you have a story. You're bringing them into a compelling story, but that story has a script, right? A movie has a script. A book has an outline, a script. And so this is the sales script. So parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is not your product. You do not start. This is where most companies, when they start to sell, they sell through their product or their service. Let me tell you about me. Let me tell you about what we're doing. If you go, here's how to know if this is you. Go to your website. What's the very first thing on your website? Is it all about you? Is it about your products? Is it about your services? What's the very first thing people see on your landing page? Is it the tenure, the length of time your company has been in business, family owned, multi-generational, local? Again, there are things those aren't bad things. They're just, I'm telling you, they're about you, not about your customer, and specifically not about the number one thing that you start with. And that's not your product. It's not your solution. It's not your story. The number one thing you start with, the number one thing that grabs an audience, a customer's attention is this: a problem. And that problem is not your problem. That problem is the customer's problem. Your customer is only going to spend money if you offer a solution to their problem. What are they looking for? What would cause them to come to your website? What would cause them to Google search you? What would cause them to show up at your store? What is compelling them? Did they just go for a Sunday drive and decide, man, let's just stop by this shop real quick? Unless you're an antique shop, probably not. Were they just searching we're bored tonight, let's not do Netflix, let's just search Google. Just start throwing in random letters and let's see what comes up. Is that how they found your website? No. They have a problem. And so you want your messaging right away to attract that customer by using language that says, hey, we know that you have a problem. We know why you've come. You've come to this place. You've come to our website. You've come to our store. You've come to us because of this problem, and we recognize this problem. We understand this problem. In fact, here's how. You're not just going to state the problem. You're going to state the problem in their words. This is where you need to really understand your customer. This is why understanding, one of the first things in the marketing program we do, the marketing framework, is what is the avatar? Who is your customer? What are their wants? What are their needs? What are their desires? What's keeping them from that? What is the problem? What are their hangups? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? Really get into the mind of your customer. And if you're past the startup phase, if you're a business that's been in operation and you've had customers, this is a great thing to do, is to pull your customers, survey your customers, ask them what it was. What was their problem? What was the hang up? Why did they choose you? How did they find you? What were they trying to solve through your product? And pay attention to the language, right? This is a thing for your sales team. When your salespeople get on phone calls or when they're talking face-to-face with clients, they want to be memorizing, writing down what are the words that keep coming up, right? So HaltingWinter, we do business consulting, but we also do personal coaching. One of our things, we desire leaders specifically leaders of businesses and organizations, to be healthy and thriving, because I personally believe that if you're not healthy and thriving, that is going to come out in the way you lead. You need to be healthy physically, mentally, emotionally. A healthy leader who is healthy in those three areas is going to lead a healthy organization. If you're not healthy, that's going to have severe impacts. And I know because it's part of my personal story. I wasn't healthy, and I saw that specifically in my mentality and my creativity, but I saw it in my emotions and my frustrations and the way I led. And it wasn't until I got healthy physically that I started to see a better, much better mental framework and a much better emotional framework. And so I want to encourage you. How are you doing physically? How are you doing mentally? How are you doing emotionally? How are you as a leader? Are you just taking care of your business, or are you taking care of yourself? You need to be doing both. And that's busy and that's time. But you're investing in yourself is the best investment. Anyway, tangent there. You can go listen to the Spartan Body and Mind podcast if you want more information on that. So one of the things is with our personal coaching is we will talk with, right, we're doing sales calls. We're doing calls with potential clients who are interested in our Spartan program. And so we're listening. We're like, what is their language? And what we hear often is, man, I just don't, I don't have the motivation. I'm not consistent with my food choices. So there are key words that we are trying to speak back, that we then use in marketing, that we then, are you struggling with consistency? Are you finding a lack of willpower and the daily motivation to continue activity and training? Are you we want to use their words, right, to help draw that audience in, because that's our audience. They're telling us what their problems are, and we have the solution. And so we want to figure out what is the problem. Now here's something you have to be careful with. When you start digging into the problem, make sure you're digging into it from your customer's point of view, not yours. Make sure to really think about what are the words that they're using, because this is the hook. This is how you grab attention. This is how you create curiosity for them to go, oh, maybe they can help. But here's the issue. There are surface problems and there are deep problems. The surface problems are the ones that your customer realizes. Like, again, for the Spartan program that we have for our personal coaching, people come to us with the surface problem of they're overweight, right? They're out of shape. They don't have, they're not consistent with their diet. They're not motivated to do daily activity. They'd rather be motivated to watch Netflix. That's their surface problem. The deeper problems that we're aware of is mindset. They have mindset issues. That consistency, that motivation, that's all mindset. They have false beliefs. They have fears. They have lack of knowledge, right? They have mind issues, but they don't know that. And if I, who do know that, try to market to them and try to sell to them on the things that I know to be the real problems, they're going to tune out because they don't know that that's the real problem. And sometimes they don't even want to hear that that's the real problem. They just want an easy, quick fix to their fatness. They just want to get fit as fast as possible. This is where, again, sales becomes the struggle for us, is when we know someone's real problem and we want to speak to them about that problem. There's a place for that, but it's not in the sales meeting. It's not when you're trying to sell the product. And this doesn't make you shady. It makes you customer focused. It makes you say, listen, I got to come to my customer's level because they're not even ready to do the mindset work. They're not, that's not even on their radar. I'm going to be honest with them, right? So I'm honest with my clients. Like, I'm going to help you lose weight. I'm going to help you lose fat specifically, not just weight, because I don't want to help you lose weight. I want to help you lose fat because we don't want to lose protein. We don't want to lose muscle. But I'm not going, but there's a reality to that, right? I can only have you lose so much fat in so much time without it being really unhealthy and it doing more damage than what's already being done. And so, right, I'm going to be realistic with them. I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to debate and switch them. But I'm also going to be very mindful of, am I speaking at their level to their concerns so that once I sell the products, once I sell the services, I can actually help them. So if you're selling a product, this is where you're going to have instructions, right? This is where Apple Apple is great at selling to the problem. The problem is people want to be cool. People want right, sleek, and they want something to look good. They don't want to be bulky and clunky. Today is the day and age where people have choices. People have more money, so they're able to spend on something that makes them feel good versus just do good, right? They don't just need if we all just wanted the best computer, we would have chosen a different one than Apple. There have been other companies who have had and have probably much better phones. But they don't look cool. They aren't cool. They look dumb. They're clunky. They're right, whatever adjective you want to use. And so there is something there that we have to be careful of. Apple's now great so they're not selling a bunch of features, they're selling the benefits. They're coming to us, telling us what we want to hear. Now, once you buy that phone, they give you a bunch of, right, here's some tips. Do you want to know some tips on how to use this phone better? Now they're going to help educate you and help you understand the product that you've actually bought so that you can use that. So you have the option to use that in much better ways. Does that make sense? So be careful that this is called the curse of knowledge. If you own a business, you have knowledge in a particular area. That's why you have a product. That's why you offer services. When you try to dumb down your product to be able to speak to customers, the best you're going to do, you being a level 9 or a 10 out of 10, is the best you're going to do is dumb yourself down to a level 4, a 5, or a 6. But the problem is most of your customers are a 1 and a 2. And so you've got to figure out, this is why you've got to listen, you've got to do some work to get into the shoes of your customer, into their mind, using their language to figure out what is their problem in their words, and how do I come alongside and make sure that I'm not overwhelming them with information that they are not prepared for. Information that I think is fascinating, that I think is wonderful, but is not really answering the problem to them. Keep it focused. What is their problem? And this is where, again, your sales team has to really listen, because you might identify a few problems that your product or your service solves. And that way, you're going to want to you might have a few different avatars of people who will use your products and services. So you're going to have multiple sales scripts, and that salesperson is going to have to listen to that client to be able to go, okay, what avatar are they falling into? Because if I want to sell the product this way, but that doesn't relate to this client, you're not going to get the sale, because you're not going to solve that particular problem. You're trying to solve the one that maybe you want to solve. Maybe the one and this is where, if you offer a product or a service and it's in line with kind of your story, it solved your problem, well, you'll probably have a tendency to sell towards your problem, towards your solution, how that problem solved how that product solved your problems. Therefore, then, if you just get in that track, now that may be fine, because you may niche down and just only speak to those people with your particular story. But what about others that your product solves their problem as well, but you've got to speak to them. You've got to speak in their words. You've got to speak to their story. So how do we start our sales script? How do we really make the customer the hero of our sales story? We start with their problem. And we're aware of the curse of our knowledge. We're aware that we're not going to speak predominantly in our customer's language. We're going to speak in ours. So we've got to really make sure we're listening to our customers. What are their words? How are they framing their problem, and how do we come along as the solution to that, and stay in that tight framework? Don't get outside of that, because once you get outside of that, you're going to lose your customer. What is their problem? And then number 2, so number 1 is, what's the problem? State the customer's problem. Number 2 then is, how do I pitch our product, our service, as the solution? There's a problem, and we are the solution. When you start talking about the product as the solution, number 1, you don't want to get into a lot of features. You want to speak more in benefits. Now, you can have some features specifically ones that really help connect to that problem. So for instance, with the Spartan program we have, I'm going to talk about the features of, we talk about a path, a plan. Our program has a plan, a path, and a people. So a feature is we're a part of group sessions. So we do group sessions together because I want you to see that there are other people with your same similar story, your similar reality, and that you're not the only one rowing in hard waters. You're not the only one struggling to stay on diet. You're not the only one struggling to get in the training. You're not the only one. So when you are in a group dynamic, it just breeds so much more success. Because one-on-one coaching, specifically in fitness and health, while it's better than no coaching, we found that group models help increase the success rate of our clients exponentially, because there's just something about group accountability, group encouragement, a group camaraderie and competition that helps people last longer in the program. So the feature is the group, the group sessions. The benefits then are that community, that camaraderie, that ability to reach out to not only your coach, but to other people like you who are in your situation, who aren't right now fit, who are still facing the struggle of being overweight, of the challenge of snacking, of whatever that is, right? So I may talk about a feature, but then I want to brag on all the benefits that they're going to experience. So light on features, heavy on benefits when you start pitching your product is the solution. And again, I'm trying to get into the language of my customer. What do they want to experience? So if I know that they're going to experience mental clarity and deep sleep, is that even attractive to them? Is that even what they're looking for? See, I know that to be healthy, to be fit, you need nutrition, you need training, and you need recovery. You need sleep. Sleep might not even be on their radar. They're not coming to me for sleep help. Maybe they don't get sleep. Maybe that would be a benefit if I say, finally you're going to wake up refreshed. Wouldn't that feel good to wake up refreshed? Now they're starting to feel things. Man, feel language is always good when you're selling. You want your people to feel the benefits of your product, your services. But if that's, I don't want to spend a ton of time on that if they haven't come to me articulating that. If they're not like, if that's not like a number one, man, I need to get fit because I have sleep apnea and I can't breathe at night. Now I want to press into that because they've articulated that to me. But if they don't bring it up, I'm not going to press into that. Now I may ask some questions about that. How's your sleep? So I can get a beat and if that would be an area I want to talk about. But make sure that you're not so in love with all the things that you solve that you start pitching solutions to problems that your customers don't have. Right? This is why we have to be good listeners, really good listeners. Now, okay, this broadcast went really long, so I apologize for that. I try to keep them to 20 minutes, and I'm noticing that we're a bit over that. But I think it's important as we start this process this week, and you listen to the next two podcasts, that really here's where the work begins. The first two areas here are where just so much work. Do you understand the problem that your customer has that they're coming to you to solve? That's what, if you're a business owner, you are in the problem-solving business. If your product and services does not solve a problem and you haven't articulated how you solve a problem, a specific problem, then you're not going to be in business very long. Or you're going to be so squirrely trying to figure out what you actually do. And again, so many businesses are so in love with their product, they've never really thought about what solution what problems it solves, what it's the solution to, which is why they're missing out on so many sales. Because that's what people want to hear. They want to hear how your product relates to them. So figure it out. Let's dial it in. If you need help with this, if you're like, okay, man, that was eye-opening. We definitely are more of the website. Come to us and we'll tell you our story. We'll brag about our product, but we're bragging about it in our words and our terms. If you need help with this, man, reach out to us. Go to HaltingWinter.com, set up a free assessment. Schedule a free consultation call and take our free assessment. We use the Business Made Simple Business Report Assessment, my business report. You go to the website, the link's all over that. Take the free assessment. Let us follow up with you. Let us figure out how to help you make more sales. Dial in your messaging so that your team is rowing in the same direction and your sales increase. Trust me, if you do this framework, your sales will increase because customers will start coming to you because you are clear about how you solve their problem. I hope that's helpful. I hope you'll reach out to us. Again, I'm Seth Winterhalter. This is Halting Winter. Check us out at HaltingWinter.com. And let's help you align your products and services and your team so that you begin to scale and you begin to soar. We want you to be successful, and we want to do whatever we can to help you in that endeavor. Have a good day.